5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Pride Month! I'm not joking. I'm actually going to try and do this when it actually gets to Pride Month, so wish me luck. Hello everyone, I'm Crazy Penguin 116, but you can call me Patricia or Trish if you want. And it is my first Pride Month inside the LGBTQ+ community. Yay! Or at least it will be when this video releases. For a while now, I've had an idea for a Pride Month video that I have been dying to do. I thought it would be a funny idea to make a video about my journey through the LGBTQ+ community, because I have had some funny moments that I do like to look back on and slap myself in the head for. But, before we get on to that, I want to update the very, very large fan base of my sexuality. I am not lesbian, as I previously thought. I am something else called omnisexual. If you don't know what that is, it means you are attracted to every gender, but you have a preference. In my case, my preference is females and non-binary people. And another thing I want to do before I get into this is update my design. I am now in my LGBTQ+ color palette, and it is staying until July, baby! So without further ado, this is how I went from not knowing what gay meant to being the trans and omni-lunatic that I am now. Enjoy! I also just want to add quick that, in the parts where I'm actually telling the story, the parts with a white background, there aren't the best quality. Sometimes it's literally just a white background all the time, so just be patient with me, please? I was really stressing myself to make this video, so yeah, okay, thank you, bye. The journey starts in year 3. I had exactly one friend at the time whom I'm not going to dox the name of because I will only ever dox myself in my videos. Seeing as though he was my only friend, of course I was going to be clingy to him. I have quite a few good memories with him, but I won't get into that now as we haven't talked for quite a while now. And no, it's not because of this story. So, me and him were just hanging out. And then 3 boys from our class stood in front of us and started calling us gay. I assume he was pretty offended, although I never really asked him whether he was, and it's not an offensive word. But me? I just wanted to know what gay meant. I don't feel too stupid for this, as we all have to learn something. We don't learn it as soon as we're born. Anyway, one of the teachers came running into the yard and started yelling at the kids. This triggered an assumption in my brain, that gay was an offensive word. Now this I do feel very stupid for, and you know what they say about assuming, it makes an ass out of you and Ming. Poor Ming.
Hi, I'm Ming.
After school I asked my mother what it meant to be gay, and she introduced me to the concept of homosexuality. I don't remember what my reaction was to this, but it probably went one of 2 ways. 1, I didn't see a problem with this, and I started questioning in my head why they were saying it as if it was a really offensive word. Or 2, my mum added that it was fine to be gay on the end, and it contradicted what I'd originally thought, and I just went with it, being a young and impressionable child. I really hope it was the first possibility, but option 2 isn't terrible, as I never actually did anything homophobic. Now, I didn't explore any more about the LGBTQ+ community until comprehensive school. I ended up making quite a few friends that were queer, and one homophobic kid who, for the sake of this video, I will call Josh, but he isn't very important right now. Another strange thing is that all of these friends were aeroace, and Josh didn't bully them because he didn't see being aeroace as a proper sexuality. He just brushed it off as people not wanting to be in a romantic relationship. Throughout year 7 and most of year 8, we just ignored the homophobic side of him, except making fun of him for being homophobic like the people we are. Because he didn't really interact with anyone that was queer. except my airways friends, which I already went over why he wouldn't make fun of them. This was until I discovered something about myself. Or so I thought at the time. I was in class, and seeing as it was the last week of school, I asked the teacher if I could get my phone for reference images to draw, because the teacher kinda didn't care about the rules anymore because it was the last week of school. I decided to draw the brideskins for Forsaken just to piss Josh off, because I kinda piss him off a lot, and I got to drawing the brideskins. I got to Pride Noob, and then something in my head just clicked. And I had one thought at that moment. Could I be gender fluid? Once again, I do not think I was stupid for this. I don't see myself as being mistaken in that moment. I just see it as me taking baby steps. Testing the water, if you will. But don't worry, silly animation of me banging my head against the desk brutally. You'll be used again later on. I didn't really have any fears about what other people thought, even Josh, and I knew everyone would treat me with respect, except Josh, so the next day I ended coming out to everyone, and I had an A4 sheet of paper with the gender fluid flag drawn on it and stuck to my shirt with tape. It was really stupid. Josh also wasn't in, so that was a relief. Some of my friends ended up starting gambling on what gender I would be the next day, and it was hilarious. It was really fun for the first, 3-4 days, but then as soon as the summer holidays hit, I didn't think about my gender fluidity for a long while. I don't have any idea what actually made me think I was trans in the first place, but I suspect it was something to do with the fact that I had started watching The Owl House and loved Amity to bits, and also loved Lumity to bits. Anyway, but I was lying in bed, replaying one scene of Ida, I think, and a thought just popped into my head out of absolutely nowhere. Am I trans? Now, instead of jumping to conclusions like the last time, I took some time to think about it, and by some time I mean a week. I started watching a YouTuber called Cafe Foxtail and watched their videos on trans memes. I have to take a second here to give a massive shout out to her because she played a crucial role in this journey, because I doubt I would be anywhere close to the same person as I am now, and you will see that later on in this. Anyway, moving on. I actually found quite a few of the memes she reviewed quite relatable, so I ended up coming to the conclusion that I was transgender, and so far I have stuck with that. Now, remember how I said the animation of me slamming my head against a table was going to return? Yeah, it's time for that. Oh god. I was so focused on finding out my gender identity that I had, for a while, completely forgotten about my romantic and sexual orientation. I started to think to myself for quite a bit, instead of realizing that because I was straight before, I'm lesbian now. I'm not, but you know what I mean. I was playing Dandy's World with a couple of friends later, and I thought it would be a good time to tell them that I thought I was lesbian. And one friend, who I will refer to as Jirachi Art because that's their username on Discord and I don't want to dox their name, responded with this. Yeah, you were straight before, and now you're trans, so you're lesbian now. I think that's how it works. Well, despite the fact being that I didn't realize this meant I was lesbian, somebody did, and that somebody helped me realize before I could come out to anyone else and make myself look even more stupid, and frickin' hell did I look stupid then. Now, I didn't know what Josh's reaction to me coming out would be, but it sure was something. I tried to keep being his friend, because I thought he would be a good friend if he wasn't homophobic and all. But every time I tried to talk to him, he would immediately give me the beard and say, "Fuck you." Two other things he would also do is just avoid me, or he would stealthily punch me because he knew I was too clingy to tell any of my friends or any other person about it. Or at least I think he knew that. Anyway, it went on for a little while until one of my friends, whom I will not name, and I've said the reason why two times already, saw it happen. He ended up telling the teachers, and the teachers asked me whether this was true. They told me that they would tell Josh that they looked through the cameras, so that nothing ended up getting worse between us. They didn't even need to worry about that, though, because his mother ended up starting homeschooling him after she freaked out because his son had got a detention. I don't hate Josh by any means. I know he's only homophobic because his mom was homophobic and also very white power. Fortunately, Josh didn't end up taking in that, but I still feel more so sorry for him that he had to grow up in a household like that. But sadly, I am not a god, and I do not think there is a god, so there is nothing that could be done. Going back in time a bit here, when I got back from school after the summer holidays, I asked if they could change my name on the register. That, however, did take a little while to do. While they were working on it, they sent an email to all my teachers telling them that my new name was Patricia. Only one of these teachers actually read that email. So, in maths, she was reading through the register and called out my trans name. Everyone, except my friends, was really confused when I called out Amma, which is, because I'm Welsh. Amma is here in Welsh. Everyone was staring at me and I felt really awkward. Fortunately, my friend Chair had crocheted a little trans flag that I had put on my back. So instead of having a conversation with the whole class like, I'm transgender, Patricia's my trans name, I just lifted up my bag and showed everybody the trans flag. It saved me a lot, and I owe Chair for this one. After I had discovered that I was trans, I had started being a lot more truthful to myself. I like to think of it as a part of me that I used to hide before, because I thought it was something stupid, something cringe, something that just didn't fit me. But when I found out I was trans, I started to be convinced on some things, and when I found out of some cringe things that I used to not want to do, like making meowing noises and hissing noises, I started to find things I had used to find cringe as things I would do. One example of this is shipping. Before this, I used to hate shipping, apart from A, ships that are canon, or B, ships that were really funny like Spamtenna. I would cringe at the mention of them, yet now I have decided to try it and I love it. I even love some ships that I used to loathe, such as Shellvision. Additionally, I used to think Smash or Passes, or Hear Me Out, were something weird, or something cringe. But now? Okay, so, I'm going to, show you, all my Hear Me Out cakes. I have, individual Hear Me Out cakes for, each Phantom, so I'm gonna get so many comments calling me a weirdo and cringe, but I don't give a fuck cause they're right. Okay, first of all, the Dante's World. I haven't got normal dial on here yet, but this is my Dante's World Hear Me Out cake. Then we have Dire Death. As you can tell, I really like Badware. I really like Badware. Okay, next is the Forsaken one. Just so you know, light-hearted fun. I'm not very serious when it comes to this, because, this is the one I'm scared to show the internet. And then, the next, one is, like, the ones I'm, like, extra serious. Like, these are the favorites we got. Apollyon, Guess 666, Yotta, the Bubble Girl, Fruitica Arrows, Arrowware's, like, a computer. We got Galantia from Summer Sweetheart, an indie game alike. We have the Green Imposter from the Friday Night Funkin' mod, and we have Trudge. I love Trudge. Oh god! I am so scared to see what the comments are, but so excited at the same time. Anyway, this thing with Smash or Passes actually transitions perfectly into how I found out I was omnisexual. So, basically, me and some of my friends were doing a Forsaken Smash or Pass, which I'll do if enough people ask for it, and I started to question my sexuality during it, because I was saying Smash to male characters and female characters, not just female characters like I would have thought I would, because I'm lesbian, or so I thought. I went through a small questioning phase where I started to wonder whether I was omnisexual, because bi-lesbian seemed almost there, but not quite there. So, omnisexual was the next best thing, I thought. And, spoiler alert, I was omnisexual, as you can probably tell. I was going to end the video here, but on the 13th of May, I found out that there was a Pride Parade happening on the 16th, for some reason. So I knew I had to go. On the 16th, my parents found it, and we drove onto the street and managed to make it to a part of town the same time as the parade made it. After everyone had passed, we went back to the car and went straight to their destination. I ended up taking a few photos. 2 of the actual parade, and 2 of me with this guy dressed as a knight, and 1 video of them playing Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up at the Pride Parade. Yes, that's right, I got rickrolled at a Pride Parade. This is what they're singing at the Pride Party, this is what they're choosing to sing right now. Just wow. There were tons of stalls, and I bought quite a few dandy things with the money my dad gave me. I got an omnisexual bracelet, a small trans flag, an omnisexual and she-they pin. But that's not all that happened there. There was one moment where for some reason I felt a lot happier than on any other point in that day. I don't know why, but I did feel that way. And because of this, I ended up complimenting someone's outfit just out of the blue. I just saw their outfit, liked it, said, "I like your outfit." And they complimented it back, which was cool and made me feel amazing, and it probably made them feel amazing. Then, later, I went into a stall to see what they had, and the same person came up to me to compliment it again. They said something along the lines of, "Sorry to be rude, but I really do love your outfit." And genuinely, so much respect to them. Not because they complimented my outfit, but still. But because they went out of their way to compliment a random stranger, me, for a second time on my outfit. And they said it was rude. I'm genuinely confused on how they thought it was rude. Going out of your way to compliment someone, how is that rude? That's wonderful. I try to do the same as them, but I keep freezing up and end up saying nothing instead. So, really, just respect to that person because they were fantastic. Another funny experience that happened there goes as follows. I was at a stall for a cafe in Cardiff known as the Queer Emporium. which is a cafe that is themed around LGBTQ+. And I haven't been there, but I do know it has something called bisexuality, and I want it so bad. Anyway, they were selling some pins, and while I was buying the omnisexual and she/they pins, a girl started looking at the pins and saw one which was a strawberry. When I first saw this strawberry pin, I didn't know why the hell it was there. It was just a strawberry after all. But the girl blurted out after she saw it, and it sure did help me realize, because what she said was, "Oh, it's pussy." I could not contain my laughter in that moment that I just heard someone randomly out of the blue say, "Oh, it's a pussy." I ain't done talking about pussies yet. So in the next stall, there was one shirt thing. I'm not really familiar with female clothing yet, but it had a picture of a bunch of cats looking really, really shocked, and it had text around it saying, "Lesbians? What?" If you don't get it, don't worry yourself about it, you cute little innocent thing. I didn't actually see any of my friends at the parade, which is one of the main reasons I went, apart from being LGBTQ+ myself, because they were the ones who told me it was happening. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have a clue. I ended up arriving earlier and leaving before everyone else got there, except one. When I got back to school, one of my friends, who I'll refer to as Mango, asked me whether I was at the Pride Parade or not. I explained to her the whole deal about me getting there and leaving earlier than everyone else, but they ended up telling me they were in the parade, which was pretty awkward. But at the same time, I'm not too surprised due to the fact that they are a furry, and if they have a fursuit, I haven't seen it yet. That's basically it for the end of my queer journey so far. It's felt like such a small time overall, which is surprising considering it's been almost a year. But it has been a lovely journey for me, and I'm excited to see what life has planned for me in the future. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me talk about my experiences in this community, so I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!